situations. After some thought, Yang Chen decided not to go out. He summoned the Du Tian Divine Dragon Disc, and his body entered the Divine Dragon Space. Upon entering the Divine Dragon Space, Yang Chen was dumbfounded. Dragon roars echoed in the air. True dragons were fighting. They were actually fighting, and he could even see the blood of the true dragons being spilled in the air. 2 true dragons were locked in battle, while hundreds of true dragons circled them, watching and cheering them on. What happened? Yang Chen had expected the dragon beasts to evolve into true dragons, but he hadn't expected it to be so fast. Although these were the lowest level true dragons, they were still true divine beasts. As soon as Yang Chen appeared, the surrounding dragon beasts sensed him and flew toward him. Wow! Yang Chen could clearly sense their cultivation level. Among the dragon beasts, 2 of them had reached the spirit realm. They were the 2 dragons fighting in the air. The other dragons had all reached the peak of the yellow realm. This is too much. Yang Chen felt like he was dreaming. I actually control such a powerful force. At that moment, Yang Chen even had the urge to lead these true dragons out and get revenge on Yingjin and the others. But the thought only flashed for a moment. This was his trump card and should not be revealed easily. Because they had evolved quickly in the Divine Dragon Space, these dragons had communication issues and couldn't even communicate properly. They could only communicate with Yang Chen through spiritual messages. After much effort, Yang Chen finally understood. The energy from the Du Tian spatial lightning was quickly being converted into dragon energy. By absorbing this dragon energy, the dragon beasts could quickly increase their cultivation and evolve. Unfortunately, according to the 2 dragon beasts in the spirit realm, they had reached their limit and wouldn't be able to evolve further without more powerful dragon energy entering the divine dragon space. More powerful dragon energy. Yang Chen had a guess in mind. Perhaps he needed to refine the 3rd innate god realm of the Du Tian Divine Dragon Disc to generate higher-level dragon energy. Refining the 3rd innate god realm required a 5th-level cultivation, which was impossible in a short amount of time. In a good mood, Yang Chen gave the dragons names. The 2 in the spirit realm were called Horn and Horn, and they were the leaders of the dragon beasts. The others were named Horn, Horn, and so on, up to Horn. After inspecting the divine dragon space, Yang Chen was distressed. These damn dragon beasts were like destroyers and had ruined many precious herbs and resources. Therefore, Yang Chen ordered that they were not allowed to destroy anything in the divine dragon space. Meanwhile, above the exit, Yingjin and the others had lost patience after waiting for 3 days. They had sensed that the passage below had collapsed completely. They concluded that the person who had stolen their treasure had either died in the secret realm or had been swept away by the spatial turbulence. Yang Chen, however, had been cultivating in the divine dragon space for 10 days before finally appearing. He retracted the Du Tian Divine Dragon Disc and created a passage out of the ground. Although his trip to Mount Wugong had been fraught with danger, his gains were enormous. Not to mention his skills in array formations, his mastery of the Eastern Cauldron, the Yin Fire Qingyan Cauldron, his mastery of several killing techniques, and the 12 kinds of divine pills, were enough to make his trip worthwhile. There's no need to explore Mount Wugong any further. Let's head back to Wugong. After leaving Mount Wugong, Yang Chen didn't go straight back to Donglin's Wugong, but instead went to Chongqing City, a city in Donglin that was more prosperous. After wandering around Chongqing City's Tianji Pavilion, Yang Chen was somewhat disappointed that he hadn't found anything that caught his eye. However, he wasn't here to look for treasures. He was here to purchase dragon beasts with the bloodline of the Yinhan Dragon Clan. Compared to Donglin City, Chongqing City had more dragon beasts, and some rare sub-dragon beasts could also be found here, though they were expensive. After shopping through Chongqing City, the Divine Dragon Space had new dragon beast cubs. Including Horn through Horn, he had a total of dragons. If these dragon beasts could evolve into true dragons, Yang Chen would be able to command an even more terrifying force of true dragons. However, after purchasing these dragon beasts, his supply of high-grade spirit stones was almost gone. Yang Chen returned to Donglin City and went directly to the Taibai Tower. After finding Ying Yan, he borrowed 1 billion high-grade spirit stones. But seeing the troubled look on Ying Yan's face, Yang Chen couldn't help but ask, "Master, is something wrong?" Sighing, Ying Yan looked at Yang Chen, hesitating. Finally, he said, "This matter has nothing to do with you for now. You should focus on your cultivation and not waste your talent." Perplexed, Yang Chen left the Taibai Tower and headed towards the Spirit Yuan. He felt that something was wrong. Ying Yan's expression seemed to indicate that he had encountered great trouble and was struggling with something. As soon as he arrived at Mount Lingyuan, Yang Chen noticed that the atmosphere had become tense. Whether it was students or instructors, everyone was rushing around. What happened? He also noticed many instructors and students heading towards the Zhishir Tower. Coincidentally, Yang Chen saw Jian Wak, Men Kuang, and Men Xiaojiao standing in front of the Zhishir Tower. Outside the Zhishir Tower was a bulletin board, and something seemed to be attracting everyone's attention. Yang Chen walked up to Jian Wak. He didn't even look at the bulletin board, but noticed that he couldn't see through Jianwu's cultivation. Little K, you've become a martial sovereign, brother Yang Chen. Men Kuang and Men Xiaojiao looked at Yang Chen at the same time. Men Xiaojiao chuckled, you sure know how to pick your timing. You just came out of seclusion and you're already a martial sovereign. Men Kuang said directly, our Dongzhou is in big trouble this time. What kind of trouble? Yang Chen asked, confused. Men Kuang didn't explain, he just pointed to the bulletin board. Yang Chen then focused his attention on the bulletin board, and found that what was posted was an announcement from the Wugong, the 9 states Dao Merit Blood Battle Order. The 9 states Dao Merit and their respective human forces, martial sovereign and above, are to enter the dual realm blood battle. Yang Chen was stunned. This is a war among all races. But why was the message saying that the dual realm battlefield was not a direct assault on the 9 states, but through the dual realm secret realm? The minimum cultivation required to enter is martial sovereign, which means the dual realm battlefield will primarily be for the powerhouses of the spirit realm. Martial sovereigns were just cannon fodder. Unbelievable, when did martial sovereigns become cannon fodder? Seeing the blood battle order, Yang Chen's expression became serious. The 9 states each had their own Dao merits, the strongest martial forces in the human realm. Now, the Supreme Dao merits had actually issued a blood battle order, mobilizing all martial sovereigns and spirits to enter the dual realm. This meant the situation was extremely dire. Who knew how many fallen would be lost on the dual realm battlefield? The human race was likely to suffer greatly. In addition to the blood battle order, there was also a mobilization order from the Donglin Wugong. Mobilize Wugong's martial sovereigns and spirit realm cultivators to enter the dual realm. Calculate credits based on the number of fallen heads. 1 fallen head for a martial sovereign, 10 credits for a fallen head in the spirit realm, and 100 credits for a fallen head in the divine king realm. Seeing the Wugong's mobilization order, Yang Chen's heart sank. So, there were even fallen in the divine king realm on the dual realm battlefield. Are the fallen insane? Why do they have to battle against humanity? Aren't they afraid of other hostile forces taking advantage? And what was the hatred between these fallen and humanity? Countless questions filled Yang Chen's mind, and his mood became heavy. As the saying goes, when the tide rises, all are swept away. Dealing with the fallen was everyone's responsibility. Yang Chen had an inexplicable sense of urgency and mission. The ancestors of humanity had shed their blood on the battlefield to give the people of the 9 states a safe environment. Now, they as the younger generation had to grow up. They had to live up to their predecessors' sacrifices. I'm going to cultivate. Yang Chen said to Men Kuang, Jianwuk, and Men Xiaojiao, before leaving. Stunned for a moment, Men Kuang shouted, hey! You just came out of seclusion and you're going back in. Can't you stay out for a few days? Yang Chen ignored him, pushing through the crowd and heading towards the Spirit Yuan. When Yang Chen returned to his cultivation room at the Spirit Yuan, he found that it was already filled. Clearly, Fatty had prepared it for him. Fatty shouted at Yang Chen from above. From the moment Yang Chen entered the Spirit Yuan, Fatty had sensed Yang Chen, but he didn't want to show himself. But now, since Yang Chen had summoned him, he couldn't hide anymore. In the last few days, Fatty hadn't bothered with the students and instructors of the Spirit Yuan and had focused on cultivating and improving his spiritual energy. His spiritual energy had actually increased, though it was only by 1/10 a santh. But he had only been cultivating for a short while. If he kept cultivating, his spiritual energy would definitely become stronger. But when he thought about his agreement with Yang Chen, Fatty felt resentful. He had worked so hard to improve his spiritual energy, but he had to share it. Seeing that Fatty had obediently appeared, Yang Chen smiled. But his smile was a bit strange, like he wanted to devour Fatty in one gulp. Fatty, it's time to fulfill your contract. Let's do this. In the future, you will give me 2 shares of spiritual energy every year. What? The fat cat is acting up. It seemed like it didn't recognize Yang Chen, and exclaimed in surprise, and I have to be split every year. Kill me, cat. I'm not going to be your slave. Actually, Yang Chen also felt embarrassed, so this time he asked Fei Mao for some Yang essence to share with Xia Yao and Ron Lao, enhancing their life souls. As for 8 and Donghua, one was a contracted beast, with no life soul, while the other was a spirit beast. Even with the 4 spirit orbs, it would only be a slight enhancement. Before Fei Mao could refuse, Yang Chen promised, Fei Mao, don't rush to refuse. It's only 4 times. I'm definitely participating in the Heavenly Gate battle 4 years later, and will be leaving Spirit Mountain for the Eastern Divine Domain. 4 times. Fei Mao pondered. It wasn't unacceptable. Okay, 4 times in 4 years. Yang Chen and the others stared at Ingzhen strangely. This guy was overthinking things. The Heavenly Secrets family had finally gained control of an exit. Selling tickets was fine, why would they reveal it? Yang Chen could guess that the entrance to the exit must be heavily guarded by the Heavenly Secrets family. Not to mention, even if the Heavenly Secrets family did reveal the location, who would dare challenge them? Yangchen lost face, his expression awkward. A hint of resentment flashed in his eyes. After 3 full days on the flying ship, Yang Chen noticed they had stopped. Once Bu Lifu opened the hatch, everyone exited. As soon as they left the ship, a vast green expanse entered Yang Chen's vision. It was a vast grassland. On the grassland, various groups gathered, some with 20 or 30 people, others with 50 or 70, and some with over 100. Among these 100 small groups, Yang Chen and his group from Donglan Prefecture were considered to be one of the smaller ones. Not only Yang Chen, but almost all the cultivators who had obtained tickets were wondering where this place was. Unfortunately, no one could guess. The vast eastern continent was filled with countless grasslands like this. Yang Chen calculated the distance, considering the speed of the Heavenly Secrets flying ship. This place was definitely far away from Donglan. Of course, the ship could have been circling around. Bu Lifu put away the flying ship, then led Yang Chen and the others towards a group of Heavenly Secrets family members and began to chat. Bu Lifu approached his acquaintances and asked, smiling, "Big brother Cheng, I heard the young lady is back." Cheng nodded, his face troubled. After she came back, the young lady's mood changed drastically. She's been in a bad mood. Don't say too much later. If you offend the young lady, you might as well be dead. Bu Zhanshen, also perplexed, whispered, ever since the young lady returned, she hasn't interfered in anything. Why is she suddenly interested in something like opening up this exit? Strange. Be careful, someone warned. Maybe the young lady is just here to relax. Soon, a massive flying ship pierced through the air. A short, white-bearded old man appeared in the sky above the grassland. The white-bearded old man looked at the open door of the ship. When a beautiful woman in a deep blue dress appeared, he smiled. This is the place. The beautiful woman in blue put away the flying ship, her face expressionless, a chilling aura surrounding her. So, this is the place. At the same time, Yang Chen was stunned looking at the beautiful woman in the air. Second's senior sister. Yang Chen was about to rush forward, but was pulled back by Men Kuang. Men Kuang dragged Yang Chen back and said, startled, "Are you crazy? If you want to die, don't drag us down with you. I don't know who that beautiful woman is, but every knowledgeable person in the eastern continent knows the white-bearded old man. Who is he?" Yang Chen asked, suppressing his excitement. It was indeed foolish to rashly leap into the sky in front of everyone. If a Heavenly Secrets expert killed him with one palm, he would have died in vain. Oh, heavens! Men Kuang said in a small voice. That's an elder of the Heavenly Secrets family, a terrifying divine spirit. Countless strong people have died at his hands. Damn! Yang Chen was shocked. The seemingly harmless white-bearded old man was actually a divine spirit, and a ruthless one at that. Who could have imagined that? In the air, Ai Shuetu said, "Young lady, although the Heavenly Secrets family is known for fortune-telling, who can truly see through fate? Don't trust your unreliable teacher's words. The Twin Realms are extremely dangerous. Even I might be in danger if I enter. Besides, the family head won't let you enter the Twin Realms." Li Buxu frowned, looking impatient. Old Ai, enough. You are not allowed to speak ill of my teacher. Ai Shuetu chuckled awkwardly, not daring to say another word. As Ai Shuetu and the others slowly descended, Heavenly Secrets family cultivators came forward to collect their luggage. Greetings, young lady. Greetings, Elder Ai. Most of these cultivators were scattered throughout the eastern continent. There were also members of the main family, like Cheng and Zhanshen. Ai Shuetu waved his hand dismissively, not bothering to acknowledge them. He looked at Li Buxu. Young lady, give the order. Let's open the exit. Realizing the proper procedure, Li Buxu looked around at the small groups of cultivators from each prefecture, as if searching for something. Ai Shuetu thought that Li Buxu was looking for the people in charge, so he asked, "Have all the representatives from each prefecture arrived?" Someone stepped forward and bowed. Elder Ai, only the representative from Dongchuan Prefecture, Mei Dan, hasn't arrived yet. Ai Shuetu frowned. Don't wait. Activate the portal and open the entrance to the exit. Bu Zhanshen and the others were shocked. But at that moment, Li Buxu suddenly disappeared. No, she hadn't disappeared. She had broken through the air. Young lady. Ai Shuetu panicked. If the young lady ran away, the family head would skin her alive. Ai Shuetu tried to sense the space vibrations to chase after her, but discovered that the young lady had appeared 1,000 miles away, in front of a weak cultivator. Junior brother, is it really you? Li Buxu, who had suddenly appeared in front of Yang Chen, was overjoyed. She couldn't believe it, and was incredibly excited. Yang Chen was also excited. Second's senior sister. I'm so glad to see you, Second's senior sister. Jianwok was also overjoyed. Xiao Xian. Li Buxu nodded repeatedly, laughing. Good, good. It's good to see you guys. Everyone, whether they were cultivators from other prefectures or Heavenly Secrets family experts, were dumbfounded. What's going on? Those two kids are the young Lattice Junior brothers. Men Kuang and the others were stunned, especially Yin Zhen, who never expected Yang Chen to have such a background. Suddenly remembering something, Yang Chen asked in a low voice, Second senior sister, have you seen third senior brother? Upon hearing that, Li Bux's joyful expression instantly turned cold. Don't mention him to me. Ha! Yang Chen was confused. What was going on? Third senior brother left Dongchuan before us. He should have gone to find second senior sister. They are always fighting and making up, but considering the situation, Yang Chen didn't dare to ask. Especially with so many people around. Perhaps noticing the apprehension on Yang Chen and Jianwok's faces, Li Buxu smiled. Little junior brother, tell me, what happened after you left Dongchuan? You even managed to get tickets to the exit. Seems like you're doing well. Alright, enough. Ashue too, who had appeared before Li Buxu, glared at Yang Chen and said to Li Buxu, young lady, can we open the exit now? Li Buxu was annoyed. She was still catching up with her junior brothers. Did this old man have no sense of timing? They haven't all arrived yet. What are we opening? Li Bux's tone toward Ashue too was not so kind. Ashue too explained, young lady, only Mei Dan from Dongchuan Prefecture hasn't arrived yet. Dongchuan is a poor place. I doubt they can afford the tickets. I'm from Dongchuan, and am one of the poor people you speak of. Li Buxu said sharply. No, that's not what I meant, Ashue too quickly explained. Then what did you mean? Li Buxu pressed. Knowing the young lad's temper, Ashue too didn't dare to speak. Although he was a divine spirit and an elder of the family, he couldn't go against Li Buxu, whose status was too high, and whose father was even more terrifying. Li Buxu was the family head's beloved daughter. He shouldn't offend her. Li Buxu glanced at Ashue too and then looked up, as if sensing something. Yang Chen's heart skipped a beat. He knew who second senior sister was waiting for. Could fourth senior brother and the others be back too? I wonder if Ling Shi will come. Thinking this, Yang Chen became nervous. 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours passed quickly. Everyone gathered on the grassland became impatient. Even the cultivators holding tickets and the Heavenly Secrets family members were starting to get restless. Yet, no one dared to complain. It's what the young lady wants. What can we do but wait? At that moment, the space above them rippled, and a flying ship arrived. A bald head poked out. Wow! There are so many people down there. Are they all here to welcome me? Then, Ling Shi, Xiao Er, and Xiao Ling appeared. Yang Chen couldn't contain his excitement and shouted, fourth senior brother. Ling Shi. Yes, yes. The bald head, surprised, rushed over with Ling Shi and the other two girls, landing right next to Yang Chen. Seeing the three, Li Buxu smiled again. After landing, the bald head saw Li Buxu and almost burst into tears. Second senior sister, I'm so glad to finally see you. What's wrong? Li Buxu wondered. This silly boy didn't look okay. Why was he crying? But when she heard his next words, she nearly slapped him. Second senior sister. The bald head, looking aggrieved, said, it's unfair, second senior sister. Eldest senior brother is bullying me. He always takes all the good meat for himself. When I said he was darker than second senior sister, he beat me up. Li Buxu, with a dark expression, noticed that the cultivators around them were doing their best not to laugh. I'm so tired. I can't believe I have to deal with these fools. Originally, Li Buxu was going to scold the bald head, but decided to change the topic. She turned to Ashue Tu, who was also stunned, and said, Elder Hu, let's go then. Ashue Tu quickly nodded, and flew with the others towards where Bo Lifu was. Under Ashue Tu's lead, and with the cooperation of 5 other Heavenly Secrets family members, they activated a hidden array. In an instant, the scenery before Yang Chen and the others changed. Where there was a grassland, there was now a vast expanse of snow. The snow was real, and the freezing air was definitely not fake. Yang Chen was confused. Was the grassland just an illusion? Or was this snowy place the illusion? Suddenly, the ground began to shake violently. The snow-covered ground began to crack, and the cracks rapidly widened. Cultivators quickly moved away. The snow-covered land cracked open, revealing fissures that were about 5 meters wide and 50 meters deep. Yang Chen and the others gathered on either side of the fissures, looking down. They clearly saw a deep blue vortex. The vortex seemed to have been activated, emitting strange energy that was rising upwards. Many people, clearly experienced, sat down and began to cultivate, absorbing the strange energy. At that moment, Yang Chen heard his master's voice. At the same time, Ron Lao spoke in his mind. Junior brother, quickly absorb the origin chi. It can strengthen your soul. Master, quickly absorb the origin chi. It can strengthen your soul claws. Ah. Yang Chen was shocked. He knew about the origin chi. Ron Lao had told him long ago that his two supreme five souls contained origin chi, but he didn't expect that the opening of the exit would also have origin chi. Indeed, the origin chi is a sign that this is truly an exit to another world. Yang Chen quickly sat down and began to circulate his cultivation technique, absorbing the faint origin chi rising from the fissures. The others also followed suit. Unfortunately, after only a moment, the deep blue vortex at the bottom of the fissure stopped releasing origin chi. After all, this was only a 5th grade exit, and the amount of origin chi released was limited. Moreover, thousands of cultivators were competing for it. Even if one person absorbed all of it, it would only slightly enhance their soul. Immediately after, over a dozen Heavenly Secrets family experts descended into the fissures. They inspected the deep blue vortex, assessing something. Then Yang Chen heard second senior sister's voice again. Junior brother, this exit is special. There might be something dangerous inside. Be careful, and protect fourth senior brother and Ling Shi. Hearing this, Yang Chen was alarmed. Since it was an exit that had never been opened before, how did second senior sister know there would be treasures inside? In his heart, Yang Chen felt that something was off. He still didn't know. These things could be related to ancient prophecies, or even something about the reverse realm. More cultivators started descending into the fissures after receiving their ticket tokens. Yang Chen glanced at Men Kuang, Jianwak, Men Xiaojiao, Lingxi, Xiaoer, Shizhan, and Xiu Lingair. Let's go together. Don't get separated. Everyone nodded in agreement. Only after a while did Fei Mao reluctantly agree. Ha ha ha. Seeing Fei Mao finally agree, Yang Chen laughed, pulling out the Blackwood sword and the Kuei-Xing shield. Not to mention others, even Fei Mao, who was an upper-grade spiritual artifact, was envious seeing Yang Chen pull out 2 complete upper-grade spiritual artifacts. And then there was that single top-grade spiritual artifact. Of course, if Fei Mao knew that the Kuei-Xing shield was a top-grade spiritual artifact forged by different artisans, he would likely cry. After a while, Xiao Yao and Ron Lao finished refining the portion of Fei Mao's soul essence they had received. Yang Chen started cultivating. This time, he had decided to increase the strength of his 4 true souls to the 9th level of the Soul King realm. Even Jianwak had achieved the 2nd stage of the body tempering realm. He, as the older brother, couldn't fall behind too much. More importantly, in a few months, they would depart for the exit discovered by the Heavenly Secrets family. He had already bought a ticket. With Fei Mao opening the back door, Yang Chen's cultivation was extremely smooth. The essence within his soul core was highly concentrated spiritual energy. At the same time, in the faraway Dongchuan, a mountain, our inner circle should bring over the 4 from the 1007, Autumn 2, and Little Chow groups. He took out 4 wooden plaques and said, "These are your entrance tickets. In 3 months, go to the Heavenly Secrets Tower. The people there will teleport you." Little Baldy's eyes lit up. He snatched a plaque, laughing, "Eldest brother, this isn't cheap, is it? This is for the legendary border crossing. It's a big deal." Haha, he laughed, "This thing is expensive. I can't afford it. No one in our eastern continent can. Your ancestors from the other world sent these especially for you. I miss Sister 20. He was a little sad, despite his earlier excitement, when he heard about her from Wen Ying's father. Little Chow, carefree, took a plaque, her eyes sparkling. "Thank you, eldest brother." "You're welcome," he laughed heartily. 1007 and Autumn 2 each took a plaque, excited. They might not have known what border crossing meant before, but after the incident at the fire gate, their eyes had been opened. The border crossing meant unimaginable opportunities and unknown dangers. "Eldest brother," Little Chow suddenly asked, "do you know what level this border crossing is?" He smiled, "With you 4, and your strength, with caution, you'll be safe." His expression turned serious. "But, I heard from the Heavenly Secrets Tower that this time, it's not just you. Many young geniuses from the prefectures will also be going. People are unpredictable. Be careful of others." So many geniuses would gather. 1007 and Autumn 2 wondered, would Zhang Chen and Jianwak, who had left Dongchuan 6 months ago, also be there? But, realizing the value of the entrance tickets, they wondered, could Yang Chen and Jianwak afford such tickets? 1007 didn't understand why Yang Chen was sent away when his cultivation was only at the Spirit Mansion realm. What if he faced danger? To prepare the 4 for the border crossing, Wen Ying's father planned to further train them and enhance their cultivation, fighting power, and knowledge in the coming months. Time flew. After a month of cultivation in the cave, Yang Chen opened his eyes, his spirit essence now at the peak, a smile on his face. In just a month, the 4 true essences in his spirit mansion had reached the peak of the Martial King Ninth Heaven. There were 2 months left before the gathering at the Heavenly Secrets Tower, but Yang Chen wanted to reach the Martial Ancestor realm. But Elder Rong's words made him change his mind. It's been less than a year since you left Dongchuan, and you've already reached the Martial King Ninth Heaven. This is too fast. It's not necessarily a good thing. After some thought, Yang Chen resisted the urge to break through and instead focused on stabilizing his mind and cultivating his sword skills. He had a feeling this trip wouldn't be easy. Who knew how many tickets the greedy bastards at the Heavenly Secrets Tower had sold? When countless martial ancestor cultivators entered the border crossing and fought over resources, it would be a chaotic scene. He, at the Martial King level, needed to enhance his combat strength. Although he was confident in his fighting skills, he knew there were stronger people. He didn't think every martial ancestor cultivator was weak. So, Yang Chen started cultivating the Ling Shan sword skill, which he hadn't touched in a while. The Ling Shan sword skill had 7 moves. The ultimate killing move, the Ling Lai sword, was impossible to cultivate. The most powerful was the Ba Ling sword, an annihilation attack. The other 5 moves were just regular sword techniques, although he had reached their peaks. But, the power of Ling Shan sword was terrifying. The Ling Yun sword was a defensive technique. Only the unpredictable Ling Kong sword and Ling Su sword could be used. But, if he could cultivate the Ling Shan sword to the sword domain level, it would be different. Remembering the sword move that the 3rd senior brother had used in the 10,000 wilderness, he realized how powerful it was. If he could cultivate the Ling Shan sword to the sword domain level, even if it wasn't as powerful as the 3rd senior brother's, it would still be extraordinary. He was confident that with a sword domain level Ling Shan sword, he might be able to defeat even the most exceptional martial ancestor Ninth Heaven geniuses. With his determination, Yang Chen entered a state of cultivation. He discovered that it wasn't easy to cultivate Ling Shan sword to the sword domain level. From technique to domain was a qualitative change, and it involved the mysteries of space. If it was before, wanting to reach the sword domain level without reaching the peak of Ling Su sword would have been a pipe dream. Fortunately, because of his 5 souls, he had encountered the mysteries of space earlier. When he practiced Ling Kong sword and Ling Su sword, his understanding of spatial mysteries increased rapidly. Generally speaking, only Divine Realm sword cultivators could display sword domain techniques. Why else would only Shen Langran in all of Eastern Continent have successfully cultivated a sword domain technique? Immersed in his cultivation, Yang Chen focused on the mysteries of space. Although he was close to a breakthrough, the Ling Shan sword just lacked something to reach the sword domain. Without realizing it, Yang Chen repeatedly practiced the Ling Kong sword. His fingers released sword energy. He was lost in the mysteries of space. Yang Chen had forgotten his original intention of reaching the sword domain level with Ling Shan sword. Instead, he focused on the mysteries of space. 2 months passed in a flash. The day for gathering at the Heavenly Secrets Tower arrived. When Kuang, Jianwak, and Wen Xiaoqiao were waiting at the entrance, but Yang Chen was nowhere to be seen. Yang Chen was still in his cave, lost in the endless mysteries of space. Fortunately, Elder Rong hadn't forgotten the important matter and woke up Yang Chen. Yang Chen was annoyed. Why did he interrupt his cultivation? It's been 2 months, Elder Rong said, have you forgotten? What? Yang Chen couldn't believe it. Had 2 months passed so quickly? No way. What was I doing? Wasn't I cultivating Ling Shan sword? How did I start comprehending the mysteries of space? Yang Chen started panicking, but he decided to try one last time to see if Ling Shan sword could break through. He calmed his mind, and a mystical feeling arose. He realized that the space around him was completely different. He seemed to be the only master within 1,000 miles. He could sense everything within 1,000 miles. An incredible sense of control. This was the sword domain. At this moment, Yang Chen understood. The so-called sword domain was the fusion of sword technique and spatial power. It was simple in theory, but difficult to achieve. Laughing, Yang Chen couldn't contain his excitement. Elder Rong, I succeeded. Can you sense it? I've cultivated the sword domain. Elder Rong smiled, indeed. You have mastered a sword domain at the Martial King realm. It's miraculous. Yang Chen knew how significant this was. Those at the Golden Realm who wanted to break through to the Divine Realm needed to master spatial power. Yang Chen, at the Martial King Ninth Heaven, had essentially mastered this power. In high spirits, Yang Chen left the cave and found Wen Kuang, Jianwak, and Wen Xiaoqiao looking anxious. What time is it? Wen Kuang said, annoyed. If you didn't come out, we would have left. The Heavenly Secrets Tower wouldn't refund the tickets. Yang Chen laughed, let's go then. On the way down the mountain, Heya Tu asked Yang Chen about his cultivation. Martial King, Yang Chen replied. Heya Tu rolled her eyes, Martial King. I thought you were already at the martial ancestor realm. Hey, we're all friends here. Why keep pretending? Aren't you tired? When Quang and Jianwok were surprised. Yang Chen was a 4-element heavenly Dao master. His cultivation should be easy. They also wondered why he chose to cultivate in the free cave, when he wasn't short of academy points. Yang Chen asked them about their cultivation. These guys hadn't focused much on cultivation. Jianwok spent his points on other training, and they enjoyed their time together. Jianwok seemed to remember something. He changed the topic. Bro, have you been to the Spirit Gathering Cave or the Soul Wind Cave? Yang Chen shook his head. He knew these two were important places for cultivation, with detailed introductions in the academy. The Spirit Gathering Cave could refine and enhance divine sense, while the Soul Wind Cave was for enhancing soul power. But, they cost a lot of academy points. 1 hour in the Spirit Gathering Cave cost academy points. The Soul Wind Cave was even more expensive, costing points per hour. Even academy instructors didn't go there often. Yang Chen hadn't gone because his divine sense and soul power had already reached the Golden Realm. He didn't need to improve them urgently. Bro, what did you do then? Jianwok asked curiously. The Spirit Gathering Cave and Soul Wind Cave are great places. Yang Chen felt a pang of regret. Did little Shui improve his divine sense and soul power a lot in those places? Jianwok nodded. Yang Chen regretted not focusing on those places earlier. Or rather, the Ling Shan sword domain. When I return from this border crossing, I'll go take a look, he thought. He decided that after returning from this trip, he would definitely visit the Spirit Gathering Cave and Soul Wind Cave. Soon, they arrived at the Heavenly Secrets Tower. Yang Chen saw some familiar faces. Yingjin, Yanwei, Fang Chongping, Lan Feng, and Hong Xiao. Besides them, there were strangers, people in total. Bo Lifu, the manager of the Heavenly Secrets Tower, led them. He checked their tickets and took out a small shuttle. He released the shuttle, and it expanded rapidly, a green triangle symbol on it. After opening a portal, Bu Lifu said, "Go in." None of the 30 people had seen the Heavenly Secrets Tower's shuttle before. They were excited and entered the portal. The inside of the shuttle was small and simple. It could probably fit 100 people if they were crammed in. Bu Lifu entered the shuttle. It took off like a green light. Everyone was quiet in the shuttle. After a while, Yingjin asked, "Manager, where is the border crossing?" Bu Lifu looked at Yingjin, amused. "Your name is good, but you're a bit naive. The entrance is unstable and dangerous. There is a powerful spatial tear upon entry. If you're not strong enough, you will be torn to pieces in an instant. The entrances are randomly generated due to the unstable space. Cultivators are usually teleported separately. If you stick together, you may stay together, but the spatial tear force will be multiplied." Yang Chen noticed that those who entered the border crossing through the vortex mostly went in groups of 4. It seemed everyone was afraid of the spatial tear force inside the vortex. Yang Chen and his group consisted of 8. If they stuck together, they would have to bear the multiplied force of the spatial tear. But Yang Chen wasn't worried. His 4th senior brother was strong, and had probably mastered spatial mysteries. Wen Kuang was also strong, comparable to an emperor. Yang Chan's understanding and mastery of spatial mysteries were probably better than many Golden Realm experts. He could help 1007, when Xiao Qiao, Autumn 2, and Little Qiao. Soon, Yang Chen and his group arrived at a deep green vortex. After verifying their tickets, they held hands and jumped into the vortex together. As they entered the vortex, they were immediately met with a terrifying spatial tear force. Before Yang Chen could react, Elder Rome unleashed a powerful shield to protect them. When Xiao Qiao and the others were terrified, they felt death approaching. Yang Chen realized he had been too careless. Bringing 8 people together into a chaotic spatial tunnel had amplified the destruction force. Even a divine realm cultivator would likely struggle. Fortunately, Elder Rong was there. A flash of light appeared and they arrived in the middle of a desert, falling rapidly. Below was a vast, endless desert. As soon as they landed, they were immersed in a sea of sand. After checking that there were no immediate dangers, Yang Chen breathed a sigh of relief. Everyone let go of each other's hands except Yang Chen. He held 1007's hand tightly. When Kuang nudged 1007 and said to Yang Chen, "Now that we're alone, let me introduce us." Yang Chen smiled. "Let's introduce everyone." They all got to know each other better. The 4th senior brother and Wen Kuang seemed to click and started praising each other. Little Qiao and Heya too became good friends, while Autumn 2 started analyzing Jianwok. 1007, looking uneasy, quietly asked Yang Chen, "Did you ask about the 3rd senior brother?" Yang Chen shook his head. He hadn't been in the Eastern Forest Prefecture for long. Besides, he didn't know where to ask. He believed in his 3rd senior brother. He would surely be known throughout the Eastern continent. However, Yang Chen didn't realize what 1007 meant. She hadn't mentioned the 3rd senior brother with much enthusiasm earlier. She probably blamed him for not looking for her. Yang Chen, who was not romantically inclined, didn't get it. When Quang looked around at the endless desert, they said this border crossing is full of treasures. What's going on? Why is it a desert? The fourth senior brother looked puzzled. Maybe the treasures are buried beneath the sand. Little Xiao nodded. It's possible, fourth senior brother. Almost at the same time, everyone released their divine sense to scan the sand. Instantly, Yang Chen's eyebrows furrowed. Instead of finding treasures, he sensed a faint demonic energy deep beneath the sand. Yang Chen gasped. He remembered the warning his ancestor had given him about the demonic creatures in the border crossing. Damn it! It's supposed to be an unexplored area. How did Sister 20 know about the demonic creatures here? A bad feeling washed over Yang Chen. Be careful, everyone. There might be indigenous creatures here. Wen Kuang didn't care at all. He laughed. We're at the 5th level of the spirit realm. Even if there are indigenous creatures, they're no big deal. At most, they'll be a bit annoying. We've been suppressing our cultivation for 7 years. This is a good chance to go all out. Combat is also a great way to show off. Wen Kuang joked. Little brother, don't worry, I'm here. It would be boring if all the regions in the secret realm are deserts, said Men Xiaojiao. Xiaoer smiled. No, I think deserts are beautiful. Yang Chen was speechless at these two carefree individuals. Not daring to relax, Yang Chen randomly pointed in a direction. Let's head this way and see if we can get out of this desert. Fourth senior brother, stay in the back. Wen Kuang, you're in the middle. Be careful. With that, Yang Chen took the lead. After traveling for half a day, Yang Chen and the others reached a sand dune. Looking out, the desert stretched endlessly. Since entering the secret realm, they hadn't seen anything, not even a hare, let alone a living creature. It was getting a bit creepy. However, Yang Chen had managed to find some clues. The direction he had chosen to travel, the demon energy beneath the desert seemed to grow slightly thicker. Suddenly, Men Xiaojiao spoke up. Look at the map on our tickets. The people of the Heavenly Mystery Clan have created a portal at the entrance and set up a teleportation array. If we follow the guidance of our tokens, we'll be able to find the teleportation array. Yang Chen and the others took out their respective tokens. Their tokens gave off a faint directional sense, but it was clear that the portal was very far away. Let's not worry about getting out for now. Let's keep going. After thinking for a moment, Yang Chen decided to figure out the reason for the demon energy in this area. After another day of travel, Yang Chen reached the top of a tall sand dune. Ah! Yang Chen stood there, dumbfounded, and shouted out, filled with disbelief. It was an enormous pyramid, as tall as a mountain, looming in front of them. What is that? Heavens, that's huge! When Quang and the others who had climbed the sand dune exclaimed in surprise. The giant pyramid was at least meters tall. Even though Yang Chen and the others were hundreds of miles away from the pyramid, they could still sense a faint pressure emanating from it. After the initial shock, Yang Chen's expression turned serious. Clearly, the huge black pyramid was not a natural formation. It was a structure that had been built. Whether it was a dwelling or something else was unknown. The one who built such an imposing structure must be the master of this secret realm. Moreover, the black pyramid was filled with demon energy. The master of the secret realm must be a demon cultivator. When Quang, Shizhan, and the others wore serious expressions as well, having realized the key point of the matter. Is this really a secret realm of our 5 sections? Shizhan asked. Who knows? Even Yang Chen himself was confused. Since they were too far away to get any more information, Yang Chen and the others discussed it and decided to move closer to take a look. What if the Black Pyramid was a divine artifact? After all, Yang Chen had spent a fortune on the tickets to enter this place. They became even more careful and began to approach the Black Pyramid. As they got closer, they grew more cautious. They could sense that an incredibly powerful spiritual energy was surrounding the Black Pyramid. Especially the pressure emanating from the Black Pyramid was comparable to a peak expert at the 9th level of the Golden Core realm. At this moment, Old Rong was feeling conflicted in Yang Chen's sea of consciousness. He hadn't expected Yang Chen to come into contact with this so early. Originally, he had planned to slowly tell Yang Chen about these things after he had reached the Divine Tao realm, or at least become a spirit realm cultivator. Ordinary people didn't know, but Old Rong knew a bit about it. The heavenly scripture continent was like a giant bomb, a place of terrible secrets. He didn't want Yang Chen to get caught up in it. In his plan, after Yang Chen had grown to become a true God realm cultivator or a divine king realm expert, he should go to the Endless Void, because the Endless Void was the true battlefield for the Guardians. Old Rong didn't want Yang Chen to get caught up in racial hatred, conspiracies, or to become the plaything of some powerful figure. That would be tragic. Old Rong sighed. Thinking of Yang Chen's performance, he became even more worried. They stopped around, meters away from the imposing Black Pyramid. It was only then that Yang Chen discovered that the massive Black Pyramid wasn't a spiritual artifact or a treasure. It was just a special kind of building. However, the building was filled with many powerful formations, including a particularly powerful isolation formation. Not only Yang Chen but everyone felt that the rich spiritual energy of the secret realm was flowing towards the Black Pyramid. Be careful and stay on guard. Yang Chen began to circle the giant pyramid, carefully observing it. After searching for a while, everyone was even more surprised. The eerie Black Pyramid seemed to be a single entity. There were no doors or entrances. They couldn't sense any sign of life. It was strange indeed. Just as Yang Chen and the others were debating whether or not to approach the Black Pyramid, black light shone from it. At the same time that a massive energy wave erupted, a huge black light gate appeared. A giant enveloped in black energy flashed out of the gate and roared at Yang Chen and the others. Ancient humans. You ancient humans aren't all dead yet. Ha ha. The Ma clan has almost forgotten the delicious taste of ancient humans. The three-ma-turtle black energy giant looked almost identical to a human, except for its eyes. It was bizarre that it called Yang Chen and the others ancient humans. Its murderous tone made it clear that the black energy giant deeply hated Yang Chen and the so-called ancient humans. Salivating, the black energy giant released a large black net that covered the sky, locking onto Yang Chen and the others. Not good. Yang Chen, who had been on guard, barely had time to react. He drew his black wooden arrow and unleashed his empty space arrow technique. Whoosh! The empty space arrow was even more unpredictable than before, leaving no trace as it pierced a small opening in the black net. However, what Yang Chen saw next shocked him. The empty space arrow, an unparalleled technique, only made the net slightly tremble. It was hardly effective. Yang Chen was stunned. Are you kidding me? His empty space arrow was something that even a 5th-level spirit realm expert might not be able to withstand. How could it not even budge this black giant's technique? What kind of devilish move was this? The black energy giant's cultivation was probably at the initial stage of the Emperor realm, yet how could it be so terrifying? It was far stronger than of the human cultivators at the same level. I'll handle this. Shizhan said, his soul filled with fighting spirit. Unleashing an imposing aura, he swung his giant axe, locking onto the descending black net, and sliced. With a strange shout, Shizhan unleashed a scarlet wave of light, tearing through the black net. Impressive. While surprised, Yang Chen realized his 4th senior brother was much stronger than him. Although Shizhan was only at the peak of the 9th level of the spirit realm, the power he was unleashing was as domineering and invincible as a peak expert in the Emperor realm. Amazing. Men Quan was also shocked. He never thought that this bald-headed man was so strong. Moreover, Men Kuang recognized the axe that Shizhan was wielding as a high-grade spiritual artifact. Seeing that his net had been broken, the black energy giant was obviously taken aback. It stared at Shizhan in disbelief. Ha ha ha. Not bad. The black energy giant roared. I didn't expect you lowly ancient humans to have someone like you. Not bad. You can survive 3 moves from me. Black Fong. With a roar, the black energy giant unleashed a burst of black energy. In a few breaths, the black energy solidified into a giant wolf-tooth club. It locked onto Shizhan and smashed down. Shizhan clearly sensed the terrifying power of the black club. Yang Chen was almost shouting, ha ha. To their surprise, Shizhan didn't even flinch. He roared loudly, poof. Big talk. But your move isn't anything special. With a shout, Shizhan poured energy into his giant axe, sending out a wave of red light, locking onto the descending club and slicing. Boom boom boom. The energy clash created a massive explosion in the sky. The red wave of light dissipated, and the descending black club slowly crumbled. This exchange ended in a tie, but in reality, Shizhan had gained the upper hand. The black energy giant was visibly surprised and narrowed his eyes. Not bad, you ancient humans. Warm-up is over. I've decided to eat you. You must taste very delicious. Everyone, including Shizhan, grew tense at this threat. The black energy giant's words implied that the 2 terrifying moves he had just used were only a warm-up. What is this monster? The weapons that he used were completely different from those known to Yang Chen. They were bizarre, powerful, and confusing. And why did they call them ancient humans? The black energy giant roared again, and the black energy that had dispersed suddenly returned. Here, have a seal. A massive seal, like an ink disc, locked onto Shizhan and slammed down. Shizhan's eyes narrowed. He could feel a significant threat from this powerful seal. Not daring to hold back, Shizhan unleashed his ultimate move. With a roar, Shizhan's giant axe absorbed his power, and a wave of scarlet light burst forth, generating a violent energy wave that sent the red light crashing into the seal. Boom! The red light struck the black seal. The black seal shattered in the explosion. The black energy giant was glaring at Shi Zhan. I didn't expect that with such a low level of cultivation, you could actually control the power of will. Impressive. You could be a worthy opponent for me. Yang Chen, Wen Quan, Xianlingxi, and the others were also shocked. Little Baldy actually controls the power of will. Impressive. Yang Chen had to admit that although his spiritual mountain sword had reached the level of sword will, it was a bit of a fluke. Shi Zhan, on the other hand, was truly using will, which was truly powerful. Yang Chen couldn't help but think of old Deng. That old fellow was often grumpy, but his understanding of cultivation techniques and his method of teaching was definitely top-notch. What shocked Yang Chen and the others even more was that even though Shi Zhan had used the power of will and amplified it with a high-grade spiritual artifact, he could only barely hold his own against the black energy giant. Just how terrifying was the black energy giant? After fighting for half an hour, the one who first showed signs of exhaustion was the black energy giant. Yang Chen was curious. Logically, the black energy giant was stronger than Shi Zhan, yet why was he exhausted so quickly? It seems there was also a problem with the black energy giant's cultivation system. Not only did Yang Chen realize it, but Wen Kuang and the others noticed as well. The power the black energy giant was using wasn't true chi or true essence. Although that power was extremely strong, it couldn't be sustained for long. It seemed they had found the weakness of their opponent. Looking very tired, the black energy giant backed away. Don't go. Well, continue the fight later. Poof. With that, the black energy giant charged into the black light gate and disappeared inside the black pyramid. The massive black gate instantly vanished. Let's go. Shi Zhan landed. Fourth senior brother, you were amazing. Xiaoer couldn't wait to run over, her eyes filled with admiration. Shi Zhan shook his head with a solemn expression. He was indeed very strong. The energy he uses is very strange. The power of his moves is beyond belief. Men Kuang glanced at the giant black pyramid, his face full of lingering fear. Do you think there are even stronger giants inside that pyramid? Yang Chen firmly said, probably not. Why? How can you be so sure? Everyone was confused. Yang Chen analyzed, think about it, the black energy giant hated us as ancient humans, and he attacked us immediately. From the information he revealed, it's not hard to guess that he must have seen humans before and even eaten them. If there were other giants inside the pyramid, they would have appeared already. They would definitely not let us go. Didn't you see the way that giant looked at us? He was ruthless and filled with hatred. After Yang Chen's analysis, everyone felt a bit relieved. If there were only those giants inside the pyramid, it wouldn't be too bad. At least, Shi Zhan alone could handle them. Shi Zhan, who didn't like to use his brain, looked at Yang Chen. Little brother, what do you think we should do? After thinking for a moment, Yang Chen said, fourth senior brother, you should recover. Let's wait for the enemy to come out again. After fighting a few more times, we should be able to find their weakness. What's inside the pyramid? What is their cultivation system? Why do they hate humans? We need to find the answers to these questions. Indeed. This is a secret realm. Where did the black giant see humans before? Many things don't make sense. After reaching a consensus, Yang Chen focused his mind. He asked, Xiaoya, do you have a way to control the black energy giant's soul with your split soul? Xiaoya immediately replied, Master, I sensed it earlier. The black giant's soul power is very special. Every attack he made was fused with a divine realm level soul power, but his soul power is still not at the divine realm level. Controlling him with my split soul won't be a problem. Yang Chen's eyes flashed. Great. He was incredibly excited. No wonder the black energy giant's every move was so powerful. It turned out the giant had fused soul power into his attacks. This was why his combat power was so unusual. But how does one fuse soul power into ordinary weapons and techniques? In Yang Chen's understanding, the power of weapons was purely generated by true chi or true essence. The attack methods of soul power or divine power were considered unique techniques. For example, the tyrannical sword style in Lin Xiaojian's sword technique was a powerful divine power sword style. However, Yang Chen remembered that even though Xiaoya's two natal divine abilities had been enhanced, their maximum range was only meters. How would he approach the black energy giant within meters? It seems I need to plan carefully and dig a hole for him to jump into. After 2 hours, Yang Chen saw that Shi Zhan had recovered. He went over and whispered to his fourth senior brother, next time you fight him, hold my black wooden arrow. And try to engage in close quarters combat and reduce the distance between you. Shi Zhan was puzzled. Why? And that will be very difficult. The range of his axes is huge, covering an area of thousands of miles. The black energy giant is not stupid. He definitely won't enter the area of effect of your axes. Yang Chen said, then how about you engage him in pure physical strength combat? He'll have the arrow on my back and seize the opportunity to control him. Only by controlling him can I discover some of the secrets that I don't know. Alright. Shi Zhan readily agreed. But at that moment, a black light gate appeared on the black pyramid. The black energy giant appeared and locked onto Shi Zhan, roaring. The murderous black energy giant roared, alright, little trash, this time I will crush you. Shi Zhan, with the black wooden arrow on his back, flew into the sky and said, Black brother, your battle power is hard to sustain, and you still dare to boast. The black giant that emerged is here to ensure your demise. Ha! With a challenging look, he smiled at the giant. Hey big guy, wanna arm wrestle? Arm wrestle. The black giant was stunned, looking at him, confused. This weak human wants to arm wrestle him. He couldn't have heard correctly. Ha 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 ha. The black giant roared with laughter, pointing his finger at him. You weak little bug. You can't even compare to me. Go cry to your mommy. Suddenly, the black giant's left fist clenched, creating a sonic boom as it came at him. The power behind this punch is unimaginable. Even with his head tingling, he charged straight at the giant without hesitation. Yang Chen was shocked. He thought that even if his senior brother couldn't beat the giant, he could at least hold his own for a while, but that wasn't the case at all. The black giant's strength was fully released, and could even warp space around him. With such terrifying power, his senior brother couldn't possibly withstand it. Therefore, the moment he was within 100 meters of the giant, and the fist was about to hit, Yang Chen commanded Little Yao to act. Suddenly, a strange scene appeared. The black giant, who was about to land a blow, suddenly became chaotic. He clutched his head with his large hands, seeming to be in extreme pain. Good. Yang Chen punched his fist excitedly. Little Yao succeeded. But before Yang Chen could rejoice, he was stunned. The black giant's head exploded violently, spraying blood everywhere. The giant's massive body slumped, and falling with him, was a black wooden sword. He boldly reached out and grabbed the sword, using his mind to sense it. Little Yao, what's wrong? Yang Chen panicked. This black sword was something he had carefully nurtured, and Little Yao had two heaven-defying abilities. If something happened to her, he would be devastated. Master, Little Yao said weakly, that giant was super strong. His soul has a terrible power. How are you? Yang Chen demanded, cutting her off. He didn't care about the reason, all he cared about was her. Master, I've suffered a huge backlash. I'm afraid I won't be able to help you for a long time. Okay. With a sinking heart, Yang Chen said, Little Yao, what do you need? What can speed up your recovery? A powerful soul essence that hasn't completely dispersed. Master, go to the black giant's body, there must be some soul essence left there. Okay. Yang Chen rushed towards the body. Sure enough, he clearly sensed that there was chaotic, yet powerful soul energy around the body. Little Yao activated her soul devouring ability, absorbing the scattered soul energy. At that moment, everyone else was completely dumbfounded. What's going on? Why did the terrifying giant's head suddenly explode? He died so strangely. Only Jian Wat knew that his older brother had done it. Little brother, what's wrong? Seeing the giant's exploding head, his senior brother was excited, but Yang Chen's face showed worry. He immediately asked, concerned, Yang Chen, are you okay? Xian Lingxi rushed over, very worried as well. Yang Chen shook his head. He didn't have the heart to answer anyone's questions. After a while, Yang Chen could no longer sense any residual soul energy around the giant's body. Little Yao, how are you? A moment later, Little Yao replied, Master, I'm much better. I've recovered a lot. That's good. With a sigh of relief, Yang Chen narrowed his eyes. I need to kill more powerful cultivators so that Little Yao can absorb their soul energy to recover. Seeing that he had returned to himself, a little girl impatiently asked, Yang Chen, did you do that? Tell me, how did you do it? I used a technique, Yang Chen said, making up a random excuse. Seeing his dismissive expression, everyone was dissatisfied. Ignoring them, Yang Chen put the black sword away and began examining the giant's corpse. He wanted to know why the giant had such terrifying physical strength. He was also deeply concerned. The black giant was enslaved, and his soul was bound by a curse. Could there be even more terrifying giants in this realm? When Quang and his senior brothers were curious, too, and began examining the corpse. After a preliminary inspection, everyone was shocked. The black giant's body was too strong, almost comparable to a low-level spiritual weapon. It was unheard of. Without exaggeration, it could be forged into a top-grade protective armor. The bones would be incredibly strong. Furthermore, they discovered that the giant's blood and flesh did not contain any special bloodline power. So, how did he cultivate? The most surprising thing for Yang Chen was that the giant didn't have any true qi in his body. However, there was a power that was similar to true qi, but even more condensed. It was obvious that this giant was not a true cultivator, or perhaps an unknown type of cultivator. After storing the giant's body in his inner world, Yang Chen turned to the others. This realm is strange. These indigenous people clearly know about humans. They even call us ancient humans, and their cultivation method is strange as well. The answers we need may only be inside the pyramid. Let's go and see what mysteries are hidden there. After speaking, Yang Chen walked towards the pyramid, circling around it while using his divine eye to investigate. Jianwuk noticed that the pyramid's stone walls were covered in strange engravings. After circling it, they hadn't found an entrance. There definitely must be an entrance. But with all these engravings, where is it? Perhaps it was hidden underground. With that thought, Yang Chen circled the base of the pyramid, using his divine sense. Even with the help of his divine eye, he couldn't find a single array eye. It was like a ghost's work. Even Yang Chen's divine eye couldn't find anything, let alone others. After half a day, they all came back together, looking exhausted. No, something must be wrong. If there's a restriction, there has to be an array eye. Suddenly, Yang Chen jumped up into the air. He thought of something. He had checked the walls and base of the pyramid, but there was still one place he hadn't checked. The very top. Flying nearly meters into the air, Yang Chen suddenly stopped. He had hit a barrier, an invisible energy field. Using his divine eye, he discovered a huge energy cover surrounding the pyramid's peak. This energy cover was also a restriction. With his divine eye, he could see that the energy cover had array eyes. Yang Chen pointed his fingers and released a sword chi, targeting one of the array eyes. Boo! 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 The energy cover around the top of the pyramid shattered. Not so great. Yang Chen smirked. The energy cover around the top of the pyramid wasn't that powerful. Without any obstacles now, Yang Chen flashed to the top and used his divine eye again. What? Yang Chen was shocked. There was a huge, dark sphere at the top of the pyramid. With his divine eye, he saw that the black sphere was covered with array eyes. There were hundreds of them. It was unbelievable. Yang Chen was speechless. The entire black pyramid was protected by an extremely complex restriction. The array eyes of this restriction were actually contained within this black sphere. He couldn't have created such a thing himself. Immediately, Yang Chen released sword chi, targeting the array eyes on the sphere. Boo! With multiple array eyes shattered, the black pyramid trembled violently. The engravings on the pyramid's walls started to glow madly. The red energy seemed to be trying to collapse the pyramid. Not good. Yang Chen shouted. If he couldn't break all the array eyes in a short time, the black pyramid might collapse. He quickly moved his fingers. Sword chi shot out like a storm towards the black sphere at the top. After a few breaths, Yang Chen sighed in relief. All of the array eyes had been shattered and the power from the engravings had vanished. A huge black gate appeared at the base of the pyramid. It was clearly the only entrance into the pyramid. Let's go. Excitedly, everyone flew towards the black gate. The impatient little Zhao was about to charge into the gate when Yang Chen grabbed her. Do you know if it's safe in there? Little Zhao stuck out her tongue, making a face. Of course I'm going. But who will go in first to explore? I'll go in. The strongest, his senior brother, volunteered. Senior brother, I should go, Yang Chen interrupted him. I have more life-saving trump cards. Even if it's dangerous, I can handle it. If I don't find anything after entering, I'll come back out. Until I come out, everyone stay calm and don't enter. After a few more words, Yang Chen flashed into the black gate. The moment he went in, everything went dark. He didn't sense any danger, so he looked around. The space was vast, filled with a black fog. Yang Chen could see clearly. The space was about miles high, and there was nothing in the air. He slowly descended, and soon saw the ground, which was flat. There was only a platform, like an altar, in the middle of the ground. In the center of the ground, there was a small pit filled with a thick black fog. A black sapling was growing out of the pit, swaying without any wind. Other than that, there was nothing else. Yang Chen could feel an immense energy coming from that little sapling. It was then that Yang Chen gasped in shock, alerting the black sapling. To Yang Chen's surprise, the sapling released a black substance, which quickly formed a human face and spoke. An ancient human. How is this possible? How can there still be ancient humans? This voice was like an incantation. At the same time, he heard a very serious voice from old Rome. Master, it's a tree person, and a black demon tree person. What? Yang Chen was really shocked now. He knew what a demon tree person was. Far from the human race, there was a demonic region with numerous tree people, among them were the black demon tree people. And in the heavily etched pavilion of Donglan, Yangchen had gotten a black demon tree person soul bead, which had allowed him to change his dead chi into dead soul true chi. How is it possible? He was meeting a living one here. After thinking for a moment, Yangchen noticed something was wrong. If he was from the demonic region, he would know about humans and would never call him an ancient human, or an inferior one at that. The human race is ranked among the top powers of the Tianshu continent. He sensed that the tree person wasn't that strong, so he relaxed a bit and asked, "Are you a black demon tree person? Do you know about the demonic region?" The black sapling was surprised at his question. "Not bad. You can recognize me. For an inferior ancient human to recognize a black demon tree person, you're somewhat knowledgeable. By the way, what is that demonic region you spoke of?" Yang Chen was even more confused now. This tree person didn't even know about the demonic region. Yang Chen had an idea. He pretended to be panicked. "Do you know about the situation of this area?" The black demon tree person laughed. "You are food that the stupid coup brought here, right? That kid is lucky, actually capturing an ancient human. You won't be alive for long. Once that stupid one comes back, he'll eat you. I'm bored, so we'll tell you a bit about this place." After hearing the tree person's explanation, Yang Chen was completely stunned. Is this a realm? What were the people from the heavenly family doing? How could they consider a place like this a realm? And one of the 5-sex trial realm at that. They must be crazy. According to the tree person, this was not a realm. This was the 9th ring of the western outer region. The outer region was a fragment of a shattered great world. For some unknown reason, it fused with the Tianshu continent to form a unique space. However, the rings of the outer region were just a small part of this great world fragment.